I'm John Waters, and I'm supposed to announce there is no smoking in this theater, which I think is one of the most ridiculous things I've ever heard of in my life. How can anyone sit through a length of a film, and especially a European film, and not have a cigarette? But don't you wish you had one right now? And I'm telling you that smoke anyway. It gives ushers jobs, and if people didn't smoke, there would be no employment for the youth of today. So once again, no smoking in this theater.
The Jeff Meacham Network's Multiverse of Media. For over 15 years, the recognized symbol of excellence and the standard bearer in coverage of sports and entertainment.
So it occurred to me as I was going live that I did not bother to set it up on Instagram. So bear with me here. But hi, everybody. Welcome to Meach's Musings here across the Jeff Meacham Network YouTube channel and the socials, soon to be Instagram as well. Sorry for you folks that were expecting it on Instagram. My bad. Again, not a bad day, just kind of a long day, kind of a brain derp day. So it is what it is. Let me go ahead and get that going. Oops. Hope everybody's having a good Monday. Happy Memorial Day to those of you that are observing that. And if you're in the United States of America, quite frankly, you should be. So just throwing that out there. Big day across the wrestling world as well. Of course, the infamous day in history on Nitro in 1996 when Scott Hall made his return to WCW and started the ignited the revolution, if you will, that would end up being the NWO. Again, for me as a fan, very big deal, no doubt about it. So I mean, there's no mincing those words, right? It's just not. Come on now. I'm not quiet about my love of the NWO, but I had forgotten that, not on this day exactly. I think the anniversary of the next one I'm going to talk about is actually the 20th. No, actually, today's the anniversary for, I think it's the 26th was the anniversary for 1997's NWO moment. And then 1998 is also the 26th, but 97, the Great Muta joined the NWO. And then in 98 on Thunder, the Wolfpack debuted their the rap version of their theme. So there you go. Let's see if it's actually working now. All right, there we go. Hello on Instagram. Let me go ahead and briefly bring everybody back up to speed here. Welcome to Meach's Musings. You are watching on the Jeff Meacham Network YouTube, the Facebook, the Twix, and the Instagram page. Of course, it is a big day if you are an NWO fan. It is NWO for life. And of course, 1996, on this day, Scott Hall returned to WCW, started the program, if you will. 97 on the 26th, but, a day late, dollar short, I reckon. The Great Muta joined the NWO. And then on Thunder in 1998, on this day, we had the debut of the Wolfpack theme. So it's a pretty cool day if you're an NWO fan. Yes, I am going to talk about what happened yesterday in Las Vegas with AEW, but I did want to kind of go over a couple of happy news points and just kind of go ahead and get those out of the way before I say what I want to say about Double or Nothing in AEW. Because we did talk after the show was over while we were still on the air last night, and the four of us, the Open Mic Night Core 4, decided, sleep on it. Let's just see how we feel in the morning, how we feel after Dynamite, how we feel. And I woke up and I cleaned over the studio quite a bit and decided I'm still on that. So I'm gonna say some of my piece today, but I'll definitely get more heavy into it on Saturday if the need arises. However, I do want to shout out my my sister person, my closest female friend. I call her my sister. She's been my closest friend for almost 2 decades now. And Teresa, we went to Disneyland on Friday to celebrate the return of Fantasmic. We got to take pictures all throughout the day. I kept my Mickey picture streak intact, which I know I'm a dork, I'm an idiot, whatever, I really don't care. But we got to do that. We got to go up to Mickey's house and take pictures with Sorcerer Mickey for the return of Fantasmic to celebrate it. Mickey he actually had to kind of coerce me into the spell casting post. I didn't even think about that, to be honest with you. I just thought that was really funny. And then I saw Minnie on Main Street. I swear it was somebody that I know, kind of working the magic. So it's good to see everybody at Disneyland. So thank you to everybody over at the House of Mouse for a wonderful Friday. It was a great start to what ended up being a mixed bag of a weekend, obviously, with what happened at Double or Nothing. But I do want to congratulate everybody that was involved in WWE King and Queen of the Ring. I know the decision to remain in partnership with Saudi Arabia is not always the most popular one, but the card was pretty damn good, I will say. I got to go back and watch it after not having watched it because I was actually at Teresa's Saturday morning, and I pretty much slept in, combined with a power outage causing me to miss my alarm. So I did go back and watch it Sunday, and then I rewatched it again today along with Double or Nothing. I watched it for the first time, actually get to watch it, which is kind of why I want to make sure I revisit it while it's still fresh. But WWE did a great job on Saturday. Their show was just, again, another WWE Premium Live event overseas delivers. It's been the trend this year, in the year since Triple H took over. So I can't say enough good things, and I guess I'm at fault for that in some people's eyes, and that's fine. It's I am entitled to my opinion. You are entitled to yours. I'm entitled to dislike your opinion. You're entitled to dislike mine. That's how humanity works, folks. I also want to get a really quick plug out there. A couple different things, actually. First of all, happy birthday, Natalia. It is Natty's birthday. So shout out to the best of all time, the record setter, the long tenured WWE superstar, and just one of the best people I've ever met in wrestling. She's just an absolute sweetheart. I love her to pieces. I hope I get to see her and TJ again soon, but schedules and timing are what they are. So happy birthday, Natty, and thank you for just being awesome. The date is not going to be on the graphic I'm going to show you here, but this Friday, May 31st, and these dates in June, my buddies, the LA Dolls, will be back out at the Topanga Social. That render looks really shitty. I did a horrible job on that, girls. I am sorry. I'm going to take that down. That looks like dog shit. And then that's on me. I tried to mess with the graphic, and my artwork is not doing well for me. But June 7th, 15th, 22nd, 27th, and 29th, as well as this Friday, May 31st, my buddies, the LA Dolls, will be over the Topanga Social. In addition, tomorrow at 7 o'clock Eastern, 4 Pacific, we'll have Stat Boy Sports Bar on the Costain Studios, as well as the Jeff Meacham Network. And I don't know still the status of the Greg Cherry Show for Wednesday. They had a pair of deaths in the family, so my thoughts and my love are with the Cherry family. Each Greg and Jen both lost a member on their own side of the family. So much love to you both, and I hope I get to see you guys sooner rather than later. And Dads will be this coming Friday. As JJ and I rank the top 10 matches contested for the WWE Intercontinental Championship. That'll be on Friday. Time is still to be determined. I would very much like to be out in the San Fernando Valley, in Canoga Park, Topanga, whatever you want to call it, long before the concert this time, because rushing the last time was a pain in my ass. It was very, very rushed, and it kind of put a stress on me. So in theory, with Dylan being out of school, I may just go ahead and just go. So we'll see how that goes on Friday. Of course, we've got all of our watch-alongs coming up. The next one is going to be Battleground in Vegas for NXT. That's on June 9th. The following weekend is both TNA Against All Odds on Friday and Clash of the Castle Scotland on Saturday the 15th. Forbidden Door from AEW, if we're still covering AEW at that point. And then on in July with Money in the Bank, Heatwave, Slammiversary, and Death Before Dishonor. August with SummerSlam and All In, and Capital Collision, and Bash in Berlin. And then the remaining pay-per-views of the year, plus Crown Jewel from WWE, and of course WrestleMania next year in Las Vegas. And then with all things being equal and planning out the way I hope, I will be at this show on June 27th at 8 p.m. Pacific when Nikki and Bree bring their show, their Mom's Gone Wild tour, to the Bourbon Room in Hollywood. Again, that's all very tentative, so hopefully that will work out. I'm planning to go with a friend of the channel, Kalea, and we'll see how things lay out. And Liam, happy birthday in advance to your brother. Good to hear from you, sir. Always good to hear from you. Happy early birthday to the Buckland brother for June. Excuse me, for June 15th. All right. So I've kind of held off long enough, and I was trying to get past the 5-minute mark for sure, so I could get my swearsies in if I need to. And I'm not intending to go off and completely go ape shit, but it's I mean, Matthew's comment here. I've lost a lot of respect for the wrestling outlets that defended the farce that was the main event. Walter saying F that main event. He's still mad too. And I realized as I made this graphic, where did I put it there? I realized as I made this graphic that I neglected completely inadvertently to include the exploding chair that went across Dax's face. God bless that man. But look at what we got going on here. And Aaron made this point last night during his recap of Double or Nothing, and I did want to kind of elaborate on that or go along further with that. All this happened in one show. The bottom row, Jack Perry being on fire, a super kick to a man hanging from a rigging, the super kick being laden with thumbtacked sneakers, Bryan Danielson stomping a man while ignoring his tag team partner hanging from the rigging, and then the exploding chair was all just the main event. We had Gangrel return to wrestling and televised national wrestling. We had Juice Robinson return to AEW. We had Mercedes Moné and Will Ospreay become title holders within AEW. We had the return of Maxwell Jacob fucking Friedman. And none of that matters. None of it matters to the greater wrestling audience because of that main event. And Aaron's point was that's like 3 shows worth of oh my gods in the span of one 5 or 6 hour show. Like it was overbooked. It was overdone. The death match that became the main event was, how do you overbook a death match? AEW showed us how yesterday. There was way too much unnecessary, gratuitous, movie level violence in that match. And I know people are gonna, everybody, to each his own. It's an opinion. It's like, no, it was deplorable how far that went. It was just it was ridiculous. We get the return of MJF, and it's completely pissed away in the opening match / segment of the show, the main show. Mercedes Moné does exactly what she said she's going to do, wins the TBS championship, solidifies her belief that she's the greatest wrestler in women's wrestling, and it doesn't matter. Will Ospreay wins the championship, and it doesn't matter. And yeah, it's too many returns. They blew their load. I'm sorry, and I'm not anti-AEW. They should have paced themselves, and the main event was the cherry on the icing on the cake. Wow. Matthew said it was an overbooked act of desperation to keep people to talk about AEW and tune in this week, and I think it once again backfired. And Colin says the main event was pretty unique to be nice. Yeah, and there was discussion not just in the no DQ chat, but stuff like this all across the internet wrestling community. Forgive me in advance for saying this. The only thing that AEW could do that would be crazy in all this to have somebody die in the ring. I have heard that, you know, a lot of the audience is calling to abandon or shelve or whatever the anarchy in the arena, because how do you top that dumpster fire of yesterday? We set a man on fire. We hit a man in the face with an exploding chair. We super kicked a man with thumbtacks on our sneakers. We hung a man from a rigging from the ceiling on the same night that the widow of a man who died falling from a rigging was in the building to promote the memorial tournament for this man. And that was all just in the main event. Like, wow. Yeah. Somebody would literally have to die to top something like that. It's ridiculous. It really is. And thank you, Eddie Burton, once again, for the $5 super chat. Your contribution is greatly appreciated, as is every week, sir. I can't overstate that. I definitely need the I definitely need all the help we can get around here. So thank you. And Liam said they should have stopped at Gangrel and MJF. That's it. Gangrel made sense booking wise. Yeah, yeah, it was great seeing Gangrel. Great seeing my buddy David. I'm so happy for him. And MJF being back was. I threw this graphic up after I took forever to find it, but I did find it. MJF is. I have it hidden. Come on, comments. There we go. MJF is our scumbag, man, and he's back, and I'm here for it. I'm absolutely here for it. So congrats again to Max for your return to AEW. Hopefully the pissing away does not persist on Dynamite this week. And Player says, yeah, the hosting up of Darby was pretty savage to me. I said the same thing to my wife about it. Yeah. And Adam Copeland's lucky he didn't break his leg to that elbow. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, that's been the biggest thing for me. And I got into a pretty nasty frame of mind talking about this in one of the group chats that I'm in on Messenger. What you expect? It was called Anarchy in the Arena. It's supposed to be Anarchy and Chaos. Chaos is one thing. Chaos is one thing. And I'm all about chaos. I'm an agent of chaos in wrestling. Like, I'm here for that shit. But even without all the extra dumb spots throughout the night or throughout that main event, the bottom line is one of two things happened here at the end of this match and the subsequent destruction of Darby Allin while he was hanging upside down from that rigging. Either AEW, Tony Khan, and the EVPs chose to hang a man from a rigging during a pay-per-view the same night that Owen Hart's widow, 3 days after the anniversary of him passing from falling from a rigging, was in the building without her knowledge, which is disgusting on Tony Khan's part and disgusting on the EVP's part. Or they hung a man from a rigging 3 days after the anniversary of another man who died from falling from a rigging with his widow's knowledge because she was in the building. And that's deplorable, again, on Tony Khan and again on the EVPs, but it's also disgusting for Martha Hart. And I just have a major issue with it either way. And if I'm Martha Hart right now, I am doing everything I can to remove the Owen labeling from anything related to wrestling again and taking that stance. And that's going to sound shitty because, we've all been far too hard on Martha Hart, at least for my liking, because if she didn't know and they pulled this shit on her, that's wrong. However, if she did know about that spot and still acquiesce to appearing on this show, then she's as big a hypocrite as anybody else, and that's wrong on her. 100%. So it's such a multi-layered bad public relations thing after that match that I don't see them being able to pull out of that ditch fast enough. Right? It's just awful. Get some more of the comments here. I read quite a few fan comments that said Gangrel made no sense. And those fans would be idiotic. Sorry. If you're one of the people that says Gangrel doesn't make sense being part of that, program, then you're clearly not a educated wrestling fan. Gangrel's not to see. It was great to see Gangrel. And I also heard that he was not in the best ring of shape, and he's not necessarily, but you wouldn't know it looking at how he was in there because he did what he had to do with what he was doing. AEW is turning into one of these, hardcore promotions. That's not wrong there. The big question is, what was Martha's reaction to it? Exactly. Did she okay it? Did she know? If she did know and okayed it, what does that mean for Owen's legacy? Yeah, exactly. We were kind of ha-haing around that, AEW can make up for WWE's mistake by not having Jeff Jarrett turn babyface in 1999, have Jarrett win the cup, but then they announced the winner's going to get a world title shot at All In. So it's like, well, I don't want to see Jeff Jarrett. I don't want to see a world title match at All In pissed away with Jeff Jarrett, because there's no way Jeff Jarrett's going to be the AEW World Champion in 2024. All respect for Jeff Jarrett. I love Jeff Jarrett. I know some people don't, but it's not going to happen. So yeah, I purposely found reasons to be happy that this is a major NWO multi-year anniversary. I got to be at Disneyland, my favorite place of all time, on Friday. I got to, have a wonderfully dedicated team help me out by calling the and running the production side of the call for King and Queen of the Ring. Congratulations once again, by the way, to Gunter and Nia Jax, our new WWE royalty. Congrats to Cody Rhodes on retaining the undisputed WWE Championship, to Sami Zayn for retaining the Intercontinental Championship, to Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill for retaining the WWE Women's Tag Titles. And for better or worse, Liv Morgan is the new WWE Women's World Champion, at least until Raw, because she is now defending the championship against Becky Lynch, as announced by General Manager Adam Pearce inside a steel cage. That should be interesting. I wonder what the ramifications of that are. And I say that because unofficially, rumored innuendo, however you want to phrase it, Becky's contract expires next Saturday, June 1st. So what is her status going to be? Is she going to regain the championship and showing a sign that she has re-signed? Is she going to lose this match and then disappear like Seth has disappeared? I mean, Seth re-signed and he's rehabbing his everything right now. There you go. We got the Cleaver on board with Willow, JJ. There you go. I just want to go on record and say Willow Nightingale's becoming a real favorite of mine in the women's roster. Absolutely. Absolutely. So cool. Willow had a great match. And again, like her, dislike her, whatever, Mercedes Moné did exactly what the character said she was going to do. She is your new AEW TBS champion. Chris Statlander turned on Willow after the match. So again, there's a ready-made program there. Toni Storm is still the AEW World Women's Champion. Damn good match with Serena Deeb, I will say that. They had a great match. Will Ospreay is the new international champion. Roderick Strong, kind of an afterthought because Adam Cole came back and then MJF came back. So, Roddy kind of got pushed to the side there, pushed in the backgrounds, unfortunately for him. In response to what I said about Becky, Cleaver said, I think that was the plan to her to go off with Seth before Rhea got hurt. Very likely. Very likely. And Matt, I'm doing better than I deserve, brother. I'll tell you that. It was a good day, and I got to get some stuff off my chest here. So there you go. Matthew says, when Noah even questions AEW after that main event, you effed up, because Noah is the most unbiased person I know. And again, I want to formally, publicly, since it's just me here, apologize to Noah Foster. You could visibly see his discomfort last night in the discussion of the main event and what happened. And I do legitimately feel bad about the position I put that man in. This is another big reason why this show is only going out across my social outlets and my YouTube today. I wanted to make sure that it was clear and defined that this is my opinions, my thoughts on everything. I didn't want any other channels to have my forced influence. So if anybody else wants to say their piece or whatever in a different format. If we want to kind of briefly rehash this open mic night, great. I'm hoping there's more positive things to talk about on Saturday than this AEW nonsense. But that's wishful thinking at this point. I do appreciate everybody watching across all the outlets of the Jeff Meacham Network that are watching right now. I know I've got some people watching on Instagram as well, so thank you. And Mario Z on Instagram, my buddy in San Diego, is even saying that Willow is awesome. So you guys are not alone, Cleaver and Renegade and everybody else is a fan of Willow, because you've got our buddy Mario in San Diego agreeing as well. Oh, Lord, forgive me. All right. That was really, I guess I made it more and sounded more sinister than it ended up being, because I really thought I was going to be very nasty with my language and my verbiage. NWO for life, Chris. You got that right, brother. That's it. It really is for life, man. You see these shirts out at wrestling shows even now, and sometimes outside of wrestling shows, you still see the NWO stuff. So I'm in it for the long haul, for life, brother. That's it. Manuel says, "Hi, Jeff. I know AEW fans will argue it was okay when WWE does an Inferno match. Can you please tell them the differences are because of?" Okay. All right. So, yeah, I'm glad you brought that up, Emmanuel. So thank you, first of all. Always good to hear from you. So the match they had between Orton and Bray Wyatt, contained in the Thunderdome back in the end of 2020, I believe it was. Yeah. As far as I understand it, I don't know, how I wasn't there, so I can't say this is how it was done, but I can say that I am of the belief that there was a stuntman involved that was actually lit on fire, not Wyndham Rotunda himself. And it was within the context of storyline, it made sense that it had to get that extreme between these two men. You had the supernatural fiend, you had the Viper, the apex predator of the company, just laying everything on the line to destroy one another. Darby Allin setting Jack Perry on fire was just to have Darby Allin set Jack Perry on fire, and it was stupid. And what was really stupid was having Tony Khan dragged into there. So he's literally condoning it because he's being thrust out there right on the stage with it. And then he freaking stopped, dropped, and rolled, but not in the aisles, down the rampway, and then got up and didn't even sell being thrown down the ramp. It was just one clusterfucky thing after another. And it would anger me more than make me sad if it hadn't been for the whole proximity to the Owen Hart anniversary. And that's really ultimately what has got me so chapped about this, is that Martha Hart was there and it was so close to the anniversary, and it just seems like not a fuck was given about that. And it's very upsetting. It's just sad that was the end result of it. And it's just unfortunate that, like I said, so many things happened on this show the other night, and it really last night rather, and none of it even comes close to the complete dumbfuckery of that main event. I reached out to Rick Knox last night and apologized for how vicious I was to his employer. And I not that I apologize for what I said or what I believe, but how I said it and how I expressed my anger and sadness, because I did say that I hope that my friends in this company are still able to be okay with themselves, cashing a paycheck with the AW letterhead on it after the complete and utter just deplorable situation in the main event. And I know Rick was one of the referees in the main event. And again, it's such a fine line we ride when we are friends with people in the industry, or we're part of the industry, or whatever. It sucks because you have to find yourself catching yourself, or feeling compelled to apologize to people you may have genuinely hurt with your words. Words hurt, folks. And unfortunately, I'm so viscerally angry at Tony Khan and the EVPs and possibly Martha Hart if she was privy to the knowledge of this. Because that's just wrong on her if she knew. And to Darby for allowing himself to be, and FTR for allowing themselves, and Bryan Danielson for being made to look like a fool with a guy literally hanging behind him. I'm just going to keep stomping this dude's face. It was just ill-conceived, ill-executed, and it was just a giant dumpster fire, complete with fresh trash stinking it up. It was bad, and I am having a very difficult time even now processing the fact that I don't know if I can stomach AEW's nonsense anymore. Liam says NWO's greatest faction of all time. Jeff probably covered this before, but I can't remember. It's my favorite, absolutely. I still will forever say the greatest faction of all time was the Horsemen. The Bloodline in the last 4 years has definitely made a case for themselves. But for me, the greatest faction, at least for now of all time, is the Four Horsemen. And I would say definitely pre-1988 Horsemen. So the original Ole, Arn, Tully, Nate, and JJ. And then even Luger being involved, and then Barry being involved. Once Arn and Tully and JJ left for the WWF, that was when the Horsemen's luster kind of softened a little bit. But the Horsemen's for me is the best. And then Danielson celebrating with the fans after the show and how great it is. Yeah. Again, another friend who I don't understand. And maybe that makes me narrow-minded, or maybe that makes me unable to see a big picture. I just don't see what the big picture is out of all that. I don't understand what the end game here is. They talked about the NDQ prediction show last week that, Anarchy in the Arena is supposed to be a feud ender. It's like War Games. It's like any of these, heavy stiff matches. It's supposed to be the end of something. What the fuck do we accomplish here? On, what do we accomplish on last night's main event? Besides polarizing the wrestling audience once again for all the wrong reasons. Right? And yes, man, we actually talked about that during the broadcast, that New Jack would always have his theme song playing during the course of his segments or matches or whatever. And that's why it was fun. And again, Tony Khan's an ECW fan. So that's exactly why that happened. Tony Khan's an ECW mark. Okada probably, it wouldn't surprise me. And they're ruining that, man. All right, I'm getting very hoarse in the voice. I'm still dealing with the last remnants of the flu and the cough, so I do apologize for cutting it 35 minutes. But thank you guys for watching. Thank you for letting me rant. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to have this platform and to bitch about wrestling, because God knows everybody else does it. But it's just I still want to believe in wrestling, and I'm going to tune in at 8 o'clock tonight and watch Monday Night Raw and see the fallout from King Queen in the Ring and the build toward Scotland. And I'm curious. I'm a fan, so I want to watch what happens tonight. But thank you guys. I'm trying to stay healthy, brother. I got the cough drops right here at Throat Lodges, ready to go. I got my little homemade tea and lemonade. So thank you guys. I love you guys too. I really do. I really appreciate it. And thank you, Matthew, for everything that you and the fans and the viewers do, because you guys keep us as sane as we possibly can be covering this wacky ass industry we call professional wrestling. Until tomorrow for Stat Boy Sports Bar, I am Jeff Meach, and this has been Meach's Musings, and we'll see you guys later.
The Jeff Meacham Network's Multiverse of Media. For over 15 years, the recognized symbol of excellence and the standard bearer in coverage of sports and entertainment.